Got nothing. 7.2 volts. That's not good. Well, hello and welcome. We're actually standing on a 36 Aquila here, and the shore power end got burned up on this boat. We got some parts for it. I got a new cord, we got a new end, so we're going to replace that, show you a few things, what to look for, some of the reasons why this happened. So obviously if you have any questions, shoot me a comment below if you got questions about the shore power stuff. But we're going to get this all fixed so we can light it up. As you see in the beginning, we only got 7 volts to the house batteries here, so we definitely got to get this thing charging on the inverter. So let's just get started. So here we are. Hopefully we can beat the rain. This is the 36 that has the glass doors in the back. You can see in the reflection. There's Felix. Nice boat. Completely set up all the way around, so it's enclosed cabin. You can obviously got a bedroom on both sides. I'm sure I made a video on one of these boats. I like the 36. So first, here's our cord. Pretty melted. Sorry for the bad lighting here. We're gonna get some rain here soon. Yeah, that's pretty bad. If you look here, what's funny is, look, you see the light in the, you can't see, oh there you go. It's actually got the blue light still working on it, so it still has voltage to it, even though it's burned up. Didn't trip the breaker. If you look here, that's not good. It's pretty burned up too. So we pull this out. Hey look, you see this corrosion on it and everything? Typically, this is due to water intrusion, or we're obviously in a very bad environment with humidity and rain here, so if you don't get this perfectly sealed, you can get water over time and slowly it just burns up. This other one here doesn't seem to be used very much because most people just leave their chargers on. This is the second inlet here, and everything looks good there, but we're going to pull this out anyways because I want to show you something I'm going to do to both of these. This one's going to be replaced, and I got a new cord, so let's get this apart. Well, now it's raining pretty good. We have to get this back cover off and this piece that holds the wires on, and we can look at the back side where the wires go in here. We got a brand new one here, so we're definitely going to change this out, but there's a couple things I want to do here that they don't do from the factory. There's the back cover off. Slid it up. Make sure you put that back on before you put this on, or you're taking this back apart. But looking here, see it's pretty melted inside there. See if I can get a better focus on it. There you go. You see all that melted fun? Shouldn't look like that. And also, see these green things here? I'll unscrew this one so I can show you. Just a connector. For some reason they add this connector. We're going to remove that because that's making another layer in between. So if you look at it, it'll be fine, but they don't solder it or anything. You see that? So there's nothing but another connection in between a connection here. So what I'm going to do is cut this off and twist the wires real nicely, make them probably about the same length because it'll fit in there without any wires showing. And we'll add it to our new one here. I don't even think I can get these ones out because they're melted together, so we're just going to cut these connections off. So let's get these off. We'll cut these. We'll get them on our new one here. Oh, got it. So another thing too is you definitely don't want to, if you need to, tie this wire down here or something, because if you let this go when it goes into the hole, you're gonna have fun searching for it sometimes. Sometimes these will fall, then you gotta go in the cabin and start taking stuff apart. So make sure, if you need to, don't let this go back in the hole. So let's strip these down. All right, so we got nice clean wiring here. You definitely wanna make sure that you don't have any black or any burned or corrosion on it, or you're gonna have to keep cutting it back until you find good wire, because you definitely don't want any resistance on any of this wires, because this is AC power, so you're gonna want this clean 120 going in for sure. So now, and what I did too is I put this cover on here so the wires ain't gonna go back in the hole. Plus you gotta add that on there first, or you're gonna be taking this all apart like I said. Another thing to watch out for is, standard would be white. You could use red or black for our hot wire here, but looking at this, you got our ground insulation wire, of course, and our hot. Looking at this, you got blue, brown, green, and yellow. So here's our bonding wire. Looking at the blue, you can actually look at this one. They've actually color coded it differently, just the way that they wire it. But blue is your white, and brown is your hot here. So we're going to match it up just like this one. So make sure that if you take this apart, you remember what colors go to what, because they don't always match your diagrams here. Depends on where the boat's made. This one's in China, so they're using, I don't know, whatever international colors might be for our AC stuff here. So let's get these in our holes here. And another trick here, I'm going to put dielectric grease on the outside of everything, but we want clean, good, dry connections going in, and then we're going to put grease on the outside of this to try to protect it. So when we put the cover on, it keeps the water out from this side of it. So let me slap these in here. Like I said before too, another thing, when you put your wires in the hole, make sure you got nothing sticking out of the hole. You want just the insulation coming out of there and the wire. So you want to make them pretty close to the same length as you need to, as how deep this is. So if you have to cut them a couple times or cut them down, do that. Don't let extra wire hang out of these. Alright, so we are good and tight now. Still got our cover to put on, but let's squeeze. Basically you just want to put some grease all over wherever you can here. Don't need much, but this non-conductive grease, that's why they call it dielectric. It does not conduct electricity. So if they melt together or anything like that, or this grease, you know, goes between the connections, it's not going to conduct anything, cause a short or anything. You can even put a little bit down here if you want to cover these up, but can't hurt anything with it. So now, got some grease on everything. I'm going to wipe that. I'll do it on these end pieces too real quick. And then I'll stick my cover on. I'm going to stick it back in the hole here. I'm going to take this one out and cut the ends off of it too. Just like this one had those little end pieces on it. Where are they at? Yeah, these guys right here. I'm going to cut those off this one too, just to maybe help it in the future, and we'll put some grease on the back side of this one too. So let me get all this together so we can plug our new cord in and see if we can light this thing up and get our batteries charging. All right, we're in. This one's actually a little bit different. This is the old style. So it's a little bit better. It's got better knobs for turning this and tightening it. So now, I actually haven't pulled this one out yet. I'm going to, but I want to check this before the rain starts and get this thing charging before we yank anything else apart and make sure everything's good first. All right, so we're up. Everything's nice here. I do not recommend putting dielectric grease here. The only reason is because you're pulling this on and off all the time. And every time you pull it on and off, you're smearing stuff and you're wiping dirt and whatever else might be on, you know, the cord or wherever else. Obviously, we're outside, so it's not always clean anywhere you go. Plus, you're hanging your cord up, could have moisture on and stuff. So I just recommend making sure this is nice and clean and dry, just like the other end of your cord before you plug it in. Definitely don't want moisture in here. So we have a brand new one. So let me open this up. We'll pull this one off. Funny that's still working. And plug this in and get our inverter going. We got our cord. Close our door here. Actually, before we plug it in, let's go downstairs here real quick. Make sure nothing's on, because I don't want to just light everything up right away. Open. Generator. Okay, so our generator was on. That's it, so nothing's on. Good. Got our fancy light on, so we got power. Let's plug her in. Turn it. You want to make sure this is nice and tight, because that's going to seal it the best it can. There we go. Go back to our panel here, and we got nothing. But there's a breaker in this boat, so let's go to that. It's on the other side here, on the port side. Our bathroom here. It's probably tripped because it was burned up. I don't know how well you can see this, but there's a door in here. You can see the green light. That's the breaker. Can't barely see, but that white thing I'm about to push in. We got two green lights, so we got good power. Plug that back up. A secret spot for the main breaker. Now, go back in here. There we go. 120. So, don't worry about this stuff. We're not turning our AC on or anything. We don't need to parallel it because all we want here is our inverter charger. We want this on so we can put our charger on here. Make sure it doesn't say low battery because we'll have to jump them all together to get this charging. 15 amps, that's good. I don't think you're supposed to go much more past maybe 18, something like that. And we're charging, so let's go check that battery again. Actually, we can do it right here. Here's our line voltage here. So our main's on. Let's see. Nothing on 1. Plenty on 2. So these are our starting batteries right here, 2 and 3. 1 is the one that had 7 volts, so we got nothing there. Let's see if it'll kick on here and actually start charging. This should come up all by itself here, so we'll give it a second. There we go. Actually, just learned something here. If you turn this off, you lose your signal to this, but you still have them for some reason from your motor side. But you have nothing on 1 unless you turn your house switch on here. Now we're definitely charging because we're at 13.5 volts, so we're going to let this thing sit. Turn these batteries off. Because we are charging. We don't need any of this stuff on. We only want our inverter on right now. That way these batteries can come back and we can check them later. Alright, let's get out of the cabin here. Now, I'm going to pull out, I'm actually going to pull this all back apart here, unplug the shore power, turn it all off here because I want to pull the other end out of there, put some dielectric grease on it, cut those ends off like I was saying. And we'll let this thing sit. I'll come back to it here later and make sure everything is good. Make sure the batteries came back because them being low like that, they could have died, but they are good AGM batteries and there's 2 of them there. So hopefully in a day or 2 here, they'll come back, everything will be fine. So, got any questions about the shore power stuff here? Or any questions about these Aquilas or any questions at all, hit me up in the comments. And as always, I appreciate everybody watching. I will see you next time. Later. Look, Felix, it's a little baby cat.